Today is March 26, 2024. My name is Joe Reingold, and I'm here interviewing Dr. Shepard about his recent trip to Israel. So, Dr. Shepard, tell us about your thoughts and feelings and what kind of things you saw and did, and maybe some of the highlights of your trip.
Well, it was a special trip for us. This was our 30th trip to Israel, and we're always excited to go to Israel. This was obviously a much more solemn trip than our usual experience there. We noticed that there were many less people than we were used to seeing in the airport or all the places that we went, of course, because obviously Israel's at war right now. But we felt very strongly, my wife and I, that we needed to make a stand for Israel and make people understand the importance of Israel. We're Christian Zionists. We're unique probably in some of your interviews. We've been involved with things in interfaith work with Christians and Jews together in Israel and here in the States. We are conservative Christians that read the Bible. So in reading the Bible, we see that there are a lot of promises in the Bible, and most of them are to the Jewish people and to the land of Israel. So we believe Israel to be a very, very important part of our modern world, and how we can bring sanity to our world, and how we can bring freedom, democracy to our world, bring culture, bring civilization to our world, is really focused on Israel. So we focus highly on Israel and on the Jewish people here, and are just 100% supportive of everything Jewish and everything Israel. So we're a little bit overboard sometimes, maybe, for some people. But this trip was very different because, obviously there is good and there's evil in the world, and I think that this trip showed us that. We had seen the 46-minute video before we went of the October 7 attack, and were very impacted by that video, just seeing the horror of evil, and wanted to make a clear statement ourselves as a couple, and for a lot of other people that are behind us, that Israel has friends and have people that are 100% behind them, and that some of the things going on right now in our world are very disturbing for our Jewish friends, and we want to make sure that they know that we love and care for them, and that this trip was about showing that care and concern for Israel. So that's kind of become our mission. We have 11 children, and we have raised them and our grandchildren to be Zionists. People, we believe in the Zionists. And I think the hardest part of this trip was to see our friends who were there, who have totally given their lives to the Zionist dream. People who've moved from this country, people from all over the world who've moved there, we know very well because we've been there many times and known there for many years. But to see the trauma of this hatred towards the Jewish people and towards Israel was pretty overwhelming. And I think Nova was these were just a bunch of kids having a good time at a party, and were peaceful people who were celebrating peace, and to have this attack on them, particularly sad. Kfar Aza was also tragic, where you see homes of young people that have been devastated. We have our children are the ages of these children, these young adults, I would say, not children, young adults who were killed and murdered brutally. But to see also the bravery of the Jewish people in Israel and how they've come together in the unity, I think that was encouraging to us. Probably the best part of the trip was meeting all the people in the Federation. Many of the people we did not know. Of course, my wife knows everybody in the Jewish community, but so for her, but for me, to meet a lot of new friends and people with the same mission that we have to support Israel, I think is so important, and I think it's important in our modern world. So it was a great trip. We were there a few days before and after. We got to go to the wall. Of course, it was sad to see not so many people there. All the hotels we were in, we saw many families we talked to and spoke to who have been displaced because of the war. And so we're not done with our mission, and our mission is to bring peace to the world, and I think peace to the world goes through Israel. And certainly, I'm a family physician. I have many patients who are Jewish. I have many patients who are Muslim, and there has to be a reformation in the Muslim religion. Our religion went through a reformation. Certainly even in modern times, there have been horrific things that have happened because of Christians against Jews, and we think of the Holocaust, and of course we want to be an agent of healing in the world, an agent of repentance for past wrongs. We can't right the wrongs that have happened, but we can be agents of peace in this time and in this day and in this moment. And I think that we see that the importance of that in our lives with our Jewish friends. So
I want to ask you about something specific. I know the Federation decided to adopt Kibbutz Zikim. What do you think will come of that, and what kind of help can we do here to help them heal?
I was very encouraged by Zikim. I mean, Zikim was a hero story of these regular citizens who took up arms and protected their community against trained tactical soldiers. I thought it was very inspiring, you know, and so, but you know, this is like, here in Texas, this would be like going out in East Texas and finding a little town where everybody knew everybody and they came together, and it's very inspiring. Zikim was a beautiful place. What's his name? The leader with the cap. I know his name, but I can't think of his name. The older man who was the leader. Anyway, he was very inspiring, and it was just great to see the camaraderie of he with the younger soldiers that were there, and just seeing, you know, it's a factory. There's a mattress factory there. It's like East Texas, a dairy there. I thought it was really cool. It's near the beach. I'm from California originally, so I love the beach. So I'm excited to go back to Zikim, and so we're definitely going to make Zikim part of our trips to go see our friends there. I think what the Federation is doing there is a great idea, and I think I love the organization and the Jewish community. That so many people are so thoughtful and so organized in their help, and so we're very honored to be invited into the Federation, to be part of the Federation, and so we feel like that's a really big deal to my wife and I, and so I think you know, it's going to be really great to see what we're going to do in Zikim. And they don't have some of the tragedy like you see in Kfar Aza, but it's really great that the federations around the country are taking on different kibbutz, and it's going to be great to go. We Ofakim, which is not too far from there, also is a place we go often because there's a rehab hospital there that we're involved with, and so that'll be a great place to go. I love the south down there around that, and we've been to many of those kibbutz before. We went to Sderot, and now it's grown so huge there. So we have to show our support for these people that are living in a difficult spot at a difficult time. And but I think it's going to come back stronger than it was, you know. And the unity we saw on our trip of the Jewish people in Israel, and those of us who visited, you know, was really great. So I'm encouraged by Zikim. I think it's really good the Federation has teamed with them, and that we have a specific vision for a specific project that we can give into, and you know, we can certainly help support for that, and we're excited about that. So. I'm excited about it.
Very good. I know you said that you were there longer than just the exact mission, 4 days, 5 days. So what else did you get to do on the days that was not part of the mission?
So when we first got there, we went straight to Jerusalem, and we stayed in the Orient Hotel. We love to be in Jerusalem. We love to be in Tel Aviv. So before we go to pray up in Jerusalem, we go to play, and we were in Tel Aviv. And so we went up there, and we have our friends. When we went there first. We're friends with a guy named Yossi Abramowitz who helped bring solar power to Israel, and he has a family that they were from Boston, you know, they made Aliyah, and they were there, and you know, we could feel the they have 5 children. They have like 3 children adopted. They adopted 2 Ethiopian, or 3 Ethiopian children. Virginia would know better than me.
Yeah.
But we could feel the trauma that they have gone through because they're sold out. You know, they're sold into the Zionist dream, and we could feel the trauma that they have of just the fear. You know, they have children in the army. everybody's got children in the Army, everybody's got somebody who's in the Army or was in the Army, is going to be deployed or whatever. I think that was, you know, a really important time. We spent several hours with them and talked to them, and it was, that was, you know, that was meaningful. We went down to the wall, we prayed. We were there with Dot, and we got to take Dot. I got to, you know, I kind of know the old city, so she was a little afraid to go to the shuk, and I said, no, let's go this way. We went to the Armenian quarter, and I took her down to a certain shop she wanted to go. We went into the shops, there was nobody there.
Yeah.
So we bought several $1,000 of stuff, which was great.
A lot of the shops
were
closed or had hardly any
and
business.
they were still the salesmen. They sold us another $1,000 or something.
Oh,
you know,
boy.
And on top of that, and then we went to another shop and we bought a lot of things there. So that was great, and you know, that we could help out. So we went, and we're going back. I don't know if she told you, but we're going back for Yom HaShoah. We were afterwards, when the tour ended, the day after, we were in Jerusalem still, and we went to Yad Vashem. We have friends in Yad Vashem, and we met with actually Danny Dayan, who's the director there, and some of our other friends at Yad Vashem. And they invited us again to come to Yom HaShoah, so that's May 5th, so we're going to be there for that. And we're going to go back. And so we spent that time, and then we went down to Tel Aviv, and we had a day on the beach, so that was great. There wasn't hardly many people on the beach, but we were on the beach, and we stayed at the Hilton there. It was very nice. And carried some things. We were mules, so to speak. We brought some stuff for people who needed things there, and filled up, you know. Virginia only travels with 4 suitcases, okay? That's, doesn't matter how many days it is, she has to have 4 big suitcases. So,
oh boy.
Yeah, she's a big vision
Yeah.
woman, you know, so she's amazing. And so we're excited about that and coming back and getting to share at the Biblical Arts Center. I think that was really great. And so we just want to continue our relationship with the Federation and our friends in the Federation. And sure, Anshe Torah is a big part of that because y'all had a great time here and afterwards. And there's been several places. We went to Temple Emmanuel for a meeting afterwards and heard people speak. So, you know, I think it was a great trip, and I'm really proud of the Federation here in Dallas to take on this project, to be the first to go there. I think that was very forward-thinking on their part to see that this needed to happen, and to have a diverse group go together. I think that was really great. We were from all different places and ideas and experiences. So. I don't know. That was some of my posts. But we had a good time. We always have a good time at everybody Israel. We can't help ourselves.
Right, that's great. Since you were with this group, how do you combat all the misinformation that's going on about Israel these days?
Well, I think it's very difficult for people to oppose a personal experience. You know, a personal testimony always trumps just about anything else. If we are there, we have been in Israel, we say no, we've been in Israel, we've seen who the people of Israel are. We met, another person we met with, the Granitsis are friends of ours who, she was very involved in Dot Vashem for several years, and now she's in cystic fibrosis. And you know, he's a home builder. They live in Elkanah, which is actually some marriages over the line up by Ariel. And his English is more broken, but we had an evening with them and a dinner with them, and he's born and raised, he's Sabra, born and raised in Israel, a builder, builds homes. He's an incredible guy, and plans communities and then builds them, you know. And he's like, we're only trying to do good in this country. Why do people hate us? He's almost like he can't understand why these protests are going on in American universities against Israel. Why is there all this anti-Semitism suddenly coming up? And you know, we just share with people the truth about Israel, you know, and you know, about the Jewish people, and we say to them, look, this is the cradle of civilization. God chose these people for some reason, and He put them in this place, and they're always right in the middle of it, of all the trouble for some reason, you know. But if we read the Bible, we know the promises are there for thousands of years. And now, if you go to Israel, we tell people, look, if you go to Israel, you've just got to go to Israel. Okay, we have a daughter-in-law who's German. Okay, and she was raised an atheist. She had no understanding about all this. And we said, you've got to go to Israel to see it. We took her to Israel. It changed her completely. She thought that people were going to be throwing rocks at her, that there would be rockets, there would be this. And she said, these people are only for good. This is a country of goodness. And she said, I think it should be an obligation for every German should have to go to Israel for a trip. You know, that was her words. And so, you know, people, so one of our missions in life is to bring people to Israel. I think when people go to Israel, it changes their mind completely about everything Jewish and everything Israel. So it's critical, you know, that people go there. Am I answering the question? I don't know.
Yes, yes. Wonderfully.
Yeah, you know, but...
You're right. I mean, seeing the truth will hopefully dispel some of the rumors.
Exactly, and we can give personal experiences of things, personal experiences have happened to us with people to say, you know, this is not right. I have in my office, we have Judaica in our office, okay? And so we have a picture of our family, you know, it's a big picture of our family. On the back of it, we have a big Star of David, you know, Mogen David. And one of my Muslim patients came in and he says, I love this picture. And he says, but why do you have this on the back of your picture? And I said, don't you understand? We have the same father. Abraham is the father. As Christians, we look to Abraham as the father. Okay, you as Muslims look to Abraham as the father. Aren't we all from the same family? I said, this is the cradle of civilization. These are the people God's chosen to bring truth, to bring law to the world as a whole. Okay, so absolutely we support Israel. Is it different? And he said, well, you know, you got a point. You know, so
well, if you can bring him around, then,
it's a hard sell.
Yeah, it's
for some people, you know. But I think when we saw the 46th, we met with the consulate. I mean, the consulate spoke after the 46th. I don't know if you were there for the film, but she said a lot of people in the West don't understand the Arab mind. She said a lot of people think there's this little sliver of the Arab world who are haters and terrorists, and he says, and the rest of them are nice family people. And they are. I have several patients. I have friends. I have patients who live in Jordan, who live in Lebanon, who live in Egypt. You know, and but she said that's not the case. I mean, when we saw the film and the bodies were being defiled and put into pickup trucks and they were dead and they took them to Gaza City and people were beating on these bodies and defiling. No, we would not. You know, we're better than that. That's civilization and humanitarianism and humanity versus evil and death, a culture of death. So that has to be deconstructed. And like I said, we had it in our religion too. With the pogroms, were driven by Christians. The Holocaust was propagated by Christians. The Crusades were propagated by Christians. But you know, we as Christians now, we look back at that and say we repent of that, and that is wrong. Okay, and there is evil and there is good, and we can be transformed. We can be changed. We can be changed as a people, and sometimes that's a personal experience. Sometimes it's a whole community and a whole nation, a whole culture that has to be changed, and that's what has to happen with those people. And it's a big job, and I feel for Israel because they're right in the center. They're the focal point of what's going to happen in the future, and it's not just. I think the Zionists that we saw realize that this battle is going to be for them. It's going to be for their children. It's going to be their grandchildren, and this is something they're going to have to babysit Gazans for the rest of their lives, and so are their kids and their grandkids. To change that society and Palestinian society, it's going to, and the whole Arab world. But it's possible. The other thing, there's hope. There's always, that's where we sing the Hatikva, because there's always hope.
Yes.
You know, that things can change for the better.
You're right. Any other final words you'd like to add? That was terrific.
No, I just say, just to the Federation, thank you so much for inviting us. I know we had to be vetted and to allowed to come, and we are so thankful for Igor and Carly and Dot.
Well, thank you.
We love that.